The practice of personal development is genuinely good. The idea of trying to become the best version of yourself while bringing positive changes and positive routines into your life is extremely helpful as we grow. The problem? Confusion. When you get so deep into the content and the in-between nitty-gritty details that you forget to stay on the self-improvement and self-development journey. It's confusion when you forget the basics and to keep everything simple. Let's jump right in and talk a bit more about that. My name is Michael, also known as KES, and I've been intrigued with personal development since I was in middle school. And so these are the ways in which people can go wrong with it. Information overload can very easily feel so overwhelming for so many people, as well as derail you from your journey and your path very, very quickly. There are so many books, podcasts, YouTube videos, live events, seminars. There's so many options that the actual practices themselves can get really distracting and can get muddled when you're presented with so much information. It's like the sheer amount of information and volume you have at the tip of your fingers is already very daunting. And while personal development is, again, personal, so it's unique to every individual and can be complicated at times, I don't believe it has to remain inherently difficult or complicated. The second problem arises once you get past that information overload. You're trying to learn, but that's where you get stuck. You get stuck in learning. Alex Hormozi, he takes the stance that if you are reading these educational self-help books to learn, but you only read them, then you're not really learning, it's just entertainment. The distinct reason that he holds this belief, and why I tend to agree with it at times, is that if you only ever read about some practice or some new method, but you never use it, you never apply it, then you're never gonna fully, truly learn it and understand it. It's similar to learning a language, I would say. So knowing that when you're a kid, you can absorb language super quickly. Your brain is a sponge. However, if you know two languages, but you never use one of them, eventually you're gonna forget it. The same goes with self-development books as well as the methods that they teach. If you never use it, you'll never fully retain it. So we all know that too much of anything is a bad thing. Even if that something is inherently good for you, if you have too much of it, it can be equally bad. Personal development is good. However, if you reach a point where you're constantly dissatisfied, feeling like you're never doing enough, or that you haven't changed enough, or you haven't reached some intangible goal, then it becomes a problem, and at that point is likely harming you more than it's helping you. The whole process is a continual journey. It's gonna have its highs, it's gonna have its lows, a constant streams of ups and downs. And if you get trapped in this cycle of dissatisfaction where you revisit old habits to cope, or you again get stuck in learning and just reading and taking in so much more content without ever doing anything differently, then you won't be able to enjoy the process. Even if it's a never-ending process, that doesn't mean you'll never be good enough. It just means when you're ready, you will outgrow certain chapters, certain practices at different times in your life. The me at 20 was very different than the me at 15. The me at 15 was very different than the me at 10. I know the me at 25 and 30 is gonna be very different than who I am today. So I'll outgrow the chapters as I learn and as I grow. So what can you do to avoid these pitfalls? First, you can maintain a low information or low content diet. Since mostly all resources and videos should be taken with a grain of salt, this is because what worked for somebody may not work for you. And that goes back to that first bad habit, is if you don't apply it and don't try it out, then you'll never know if it actively worked for you. So by maintaining a low information diet, you are taking something in, you are testing it out, and if it does or doesn't work, then you move on to the next thing, or you continue to refine what does work for you. And then you just slowly add to the bucket, add to the pieces, and you'll eventually put together something entirely new. And consuming content and learning is good. It is very, very good and important that you always continue to try to learn. Learning doesn't stop when you graduate high school, it doesn't stop when you graduate college. But you have to remember that learning is always going to be something that is done through experience. It's when you end up in a similar situation to something in the past, but you choose something different. You choose a new action. You intentionally move forward in a new way. That's consuming with intention and practicing with intention. It's easier said than done to try to just enjoy the process. I know, I'm not gonna disregard that. However, if you learn to expect that there will be highs and there will be lows throughout this entire process, then you can enjoy that journey a lot more freely. It's a lot like going to the gym. You're not gonna be absolutely shredded after going to the gym and doing one workout, but after constant consistency and discipline, you'll be able to gradually see the changes both physically and mentally that come from building that habit and enjoying the process and the journey. Speaking of journeys, be sure you check out my video on opportunity cost and how it impacts our lives and our careers. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram. Keeping everything simple. Have an awesome day, and I will see you guys in another video.